Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. You know, we had like a week of overcast, cloudy, rainy, drizzly days, and so having this sunshine is just beautiful. You know, I thank the Lord for this beautiful morning. Well, anyhow, I wanted to share some tips and ideas with you today on how you can plant yellow pear tomato variety in your vegetable garden. And this is what they look like. So I'm really glad you could join me today. So follow me along and I'm going to show you where I'm going to be planting these in the garden. So let's walk down here and cross the bridge here. And we're going to head over to that back corner there underneath that wooden archway. And so right here is where I'm going to be planting these underneath this wooden support, because eventually I'm going to be hanging a string from that hook in order to support the plant as it grows. I'm going to be winding it around the plant, and it's a great way to support your tomatoes. So anyhow, it's a beautiful morning here with that sun shining. So these pear tomatoes here, or yellow pear tomatoes, are ones I started indoors in my basement, and I started them March 28th, and you know, they turned out really nice. I grew about 10 of these, and so like I said, this is right below my wood arch support, and the hook is right above me here, so I'm going to be planting that about right here. And I'm going to be planting, you know, the soil here, planting these in my composted leaf mulch amended with topsoil. If you've been following me for any time, you've probably heard me say that time after time. But, you know, it's certified weed free, which I like. Again, I get this from Barnside Compost nearby. I get 10 yards every spring, and, you know, that 10-yard pile is going to last me in the next year sometime. And but it's certified weed free, so I'm not, you know, spending all my time out here weeding my garden. And I pay $30 a yard plus like $25 or so for delivery. But anyhow, you just want to work through your soil. I like using my garden fork. It doesn't disturb the soil web, the microbes and organisms. And so just make sure your soil's nice and loose. You know, and it never hurts too if you're beginning the season or even in the fall, you get a soil test, you know, to check your soil fertility and the organic matter in your soil. That's always a wise thing to do. It costs around $10. It's really not that expensive. And this garden fork here is 12 inches long, and so it goes into my soil real nice. It's so important to have loose soil so those roots can spread wide. Because the wider they spread, the more they spread out, the more nutrients they'll absorb, and, you know, resulting in a larger, healthier, stronger plant. So anyhow, now that soil is pretty loose, I'm just going to level that off with the back of my fork, and we're just going to simply plant one of these. You know, planting really is the easy part of gardening. It's a soil prep and you know, other issues that require a lot of work. But anyhow, you know, it's a labor of love for me. I enjoy being out here in nature and, you know, listening to the birds and so on. And I'm sure if you're a gardener, you probably enjoy that as well. So anyhow, you just want to carefully take one of these out of the market pack here as much as you can. And so these weren't coming out of the market pack that easy, and so what you can do is you can cut I just ripped the side of the pack open so it exposes the ball of the plant there. And then I'm just going to gently take that with my hand and then hold it together. And you know, tomato plants are always something you can plant deeper. In fact, it's recommended you plant it up to the first leaf. And then just firmly pat the soil down around it. You can even use your 4 fingers like this and just secure the plant ball down into the soil real nice. And then give it a nice watering in. And it wouldn't hurt to fertilize that with a half-strength fertilizer maybe once a week, these tiny little plants. Once the soil warms up to around 70 degrees or more, the soil microbes really begin working in the soil and, you know, feeding the plants. And then, you know, I have these labels here that I made a while ago. I did a video on how to make these garden labels, and I've really been happy with how they've been turning out, and they seem to be holding up pretty well in the weather. And so I'm just going to simply put that in the soil. And also, if you have a garden log, again, I always recommend keeping a garden journal, you know, of when you plant things. And, you know, gardening's a lot of trial and error. You know, it's a big learning curve. There's a lot of mistakes I've made in the past, but you know, you correct your mistakes and you move on. And so, but it's good to keep a record of all that. So, you know, each year you can improve, and it really makes your gardening a lot easier year by year. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a beautiful day out here, and it's warming up real nice for these tomato plants and the pepper plants and the melons. So anyhow, if you have any questions or comments about this video, feel free to leave them in the space below. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so you can receive future videos. So I hope you have a great day. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.